Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you guys to the real life Predator. If you guys have never seen the movie Predator, you might want to look it up. This is what Predator looks like when he takes his mask off. This guy right here, he's been resurrected, but he's been captured. So let me tell you the story about this goofy looking motherfucker right here on my screen. Now, the little boy that's involved in this story is not his biological son. That baby right there. This little baby boy touched so many people's hearts. He loved to play. He would just smile and just brighten up your day. As you guys can see his beautiful little smile right there. These words were spoken to a reporter this week by 23-year-old Natasha McGee, who is the biological mother. Let me see if I can get her face on the screen. I had her up here a minute ago. The biological mother is this woman right here. That is 23-year-old Natasha McGee. All right. Now we're going to talk about her a little bit, and hopefully I don't make people mad. Y'all should know what I'm getting ready to say if you've been here long enough. But her son, get him on the screen. This little boy, his name is Jayden Maurice McGee. He was only 1 year old. 1 year old. And after celebrating his first birthday on February 28th, so he just turned 1, his family is now planning to say their final goodbyes to that gorgeous little boy. Jayden was a high-spirited baby, said his mom. He was loving and caring and just a precious little boy, baby boy whose innocent life was taken. Now, a lot of people wonder, how did this happen? How did we get here? That's a lot of what we like to talk about here, so that way we can talk about the root cause and hopefully try to encourage people to not go down this route, okay? Let me give a shout out to a website that I was never planning on giving a shout out to, but I admired them for posting this story. You guys have heard of Baller Alert before, right? BallerAlert.com. Maybe some of y'all have heard of it. Maybe some of you have not. But I got to give them a shout out because they also posted this story. And I know this is typically not the type of thing that they post. They usually post on celebrity stuff. But the fact that they posted this story lets me know I can appreciate when somebody knows that they have media power and they use it to advocate for a baby. I can respect that. Okay. So shout out to Baller Alert. But sadly, Jayden's name has been added to an ever-growing list of children who are murdered by their mother's boyfriends. For the people that are wondering, when I said momsboyfriend.com, y'all thought, like, is that a real website? Yes, it's a real website. Type in momsboyfriend.com and you will see a list of stories where boyfriends have been arrested for murdering mom's kids. Okay? But what's going to be even more crazy is how long this man knew the mom before the mom decided to place her baby in his custody. You could just look at that fool's face. Like, he don't look safe at all. Like, this nigga looks like let me go back. This nigga looks like if you stare at him too hard, you'll catch the coronavirus. Does he not? That nigga looks contagious. Like, why would you leave your kid with that? Like, I don't understand. Just before 5 a.m. on Saturday, March the 7th, the biological mother, Natasha, who lives in Birmingham, Alabama, went to her job at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. And at that point, she left her 1-year-old son, Jayden, in the care of that man. That man, and she had been dating him for a short amount of time. Let me give a shout out real quick to Tony Monet, who upgraded their channel membership. And I want to say thank you very much, upgraded it to the Advocates for Children. And I want to say thank you so much for not only being a member, but upgrading your membership and finding it in your budget. Finding it. I get tongue tied. Finding it in your budget to be able to contribute to what we're hoping to stand for over here, okay? But thank you so much, Tony, and shout out to you. She left her son in the care of that guy right there. What is our hashtag? Hashtag, when you date thugs, you date death. What makes this more egregious is the fact that this, and y'all look at that baby. If that don't break your heart, I don't think you have a heart inside your chest. That's the baby in his final stages right there. he had been beaten up by mom's boyfriend. But guess how long she known this dude? Does anybody want to take a guess? Anybody? And while y'all are here, click that thumbs up. We only got about 148 thumbs up. I'm asking for you guys to click that thumbs up. We should easily have over 200 thumbs up. Help us out. Help us share this story. This woman only knew this man for 2 months. 2 months. The dude's name, uh-oh, what happened here? Did I lose my pictures? Kind of. Software gets a little screwy sometimes, but it's okay. This guy right here, his name is Christopher Eugene Knight, aka the Return of Predator of nearby Fairfield. And Chris has children of his own, believe it or not. So the biological mother, Natasha, because this dude had kids of his own, she considered him to be trustworthy. Hey, let me give a shout out real quick to Madman. Madman24, I want to say thank you very much for choosing our platform and being a child advocate. Thank you so much for joining the channel membership. Big shout out to Madman24 in the building. The reason why the mom trusted him is because this dude has children on his own. Now, let me ask for the women that are out there, for the responsible parents, or just women in general. Let me ask you guys a question. Just because a man has a bunch of kids, does that automatically mean that he's a good father? Does that mean that he's trustworthy around children just because he was able to catch a nut with some unsuspecting woman? How do you know that this man didn't rape some woman and end up producing kids? Like, do we not ask any questions? Do we not ask if he has a rap sheet? Is he a criminal? Is he a thug? What do you know about him in 2 months? That's 60 days. That's probably 6 to 8 weeks that she knew this dude. And I can almost guarantee you, she didn't know much of anything about him. She didn't even date him long enough to find out if he had any STDs. And I can almost guarantee you that Natasha was probably sleeping with this dude unprotected. What do y'all want to bet? I'll put money on it. I'd be willing to put money on it that Natasha, the biological mother, the one that was in the yellow picture, was sleeping with that dude probably without no condom. You know why? Because the black community has a shit ton of STDs that go unchecked, and you wonder how they get spread around. It's because some people out there are being irresponsible with their bodies and having a whole lot of unprotected sex. There's no way that you can get to know a dude within that short amount of time for you to already be putting your kids in his custody. Hashtag, where's the biological father? Anybody want to take a guess? Does anybody know who the biological father is? That doesn't make any sense. 60 days and you're already like, yeah, he's a good dad. He's got kids. You can watch my kid. And what does he do? He beat the shit out of your kid, woman. But wait, guys, it gets worse. It gets worse. Let me also shout out to Cetra Speaks, who joined the channel membership. And Cetra, I want to say thank you very much. And my phone is going off. Thank you so much to Cetra, who joined the channel membership and also donated, by the way, which I think is pretty dope. And I cannot thank you guys enough for doing that. So shout out to Cetra Speaks. And that's also a good way, if you guys have a YouTube channel, if you guys want to promote, then if you join the channel membership, you guys can definitely talk about your channels or post whatever it is that you want to do in there. So shout out to you. Thank you. 2 months. And she considered him to be trustworthy because he had kids. Last time I checked, it's not that hard for men to stick their dick in some chick that'll allow them to do it, and he end up with a whole shit ton of kids. But I thought that we had this philosophy that a lot of these black men are deadbeats. A lot of these black men ain't shit. So how can it be both? How can in one breath, black women can say black men ain't shit, but then When they like a thug, when they like a particular black man, all of a sudden, oh yeah, he's a responsible father. He's a good dad because he has kids. How does that even make any sense? If you want to send me a story, you can send it to the afcmatters@gmail.com. Right here on the screen. But and I might have it in the description box. If I don't, it's the afcmatters@gmail.com. I want y'all to take a look at this fool's picture again. Y'all tell me, would y'all trust y'all kids in his custody? Look at his face. Look at his teeth. This nigga looks like he smells bad. Y'all would put y'all 1-year-old kid in that nigga's custody? Seriously? The world has changed. My goodness. Here's what happened. A little over 7:30 a.m., Chris, aka the returner predator, called the biological mother Natasha while she was at work to tell her that her baby boy that y'all see on my screen was barely breathing. Since they were speaking by way of video chat, because I guess he FaceTimed her or called her on Facebook chat or something, Chris turned the phone towards the baby so the biological mom Natasha could see his condition. She said, I looked at my baby and I told Chris, aka Predator, to call the ambulance because I could tell that something was wrong with my baby, said the mom. And he was like, nah, you come home and take him to the emergency room. What? I'm going to read that again. While they were on FaceTime, they got the phone, they on FaceTime, right? And he said, your baby is barely breathing. Since they were speaking on video chat, he took the phone and pointed it down and showed the baby's face. And he's sitting there all kinds of jacked up because the dude done beat the baby, which we'll get there. And she could tell something was wrong with her kid. And she said, call 911. And you know what Predator Face said? He said, nah, you come home and take him to the emergency room on the set. The biological mother, Natasha, rushed home where she found Chris, the Predator, opened the door for her, and then he sat down, according to her, and that dude kicked his feet up on the bed like it wasn't anything. Bookmark that in your memory. Natasha found her baby boy Jayden in his car seat taking shallow, labored breaths. So she took him to the car and drove him a short distance before calling 911 herself. Somebody in the chat caught it. That nigga probably had a fucking warrant as it was, and she didn't want her thug to go to jail. Which is why she did not immediately call 911. Which is why he didn't call 911. Everybody catch that so far? Y'all watch us long enough and you'll start to figure out that this becomes a very, very common theme, and this type of shit happens every damn day. He was fighting to breathe, she told another reporter. I knew he was still alive, but he was not alert. The Birmingham Fire and Rescue responded to her location and whisked Jayden to the Children's Children's Alabama Emergency Department, where the mother Natasha was told the gravity of her son's condition. The tiny little guy, let me get that picture up. That's the biological mom, by the way. I'm going to show y'all this baby's condition, what he looked like in the hospital, what this boyfriend did to this kid. I'm going to pause it. Matter of fact, how about this? I'll just make it big because this really bothers me a lot. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a much bigger picture so you guys can see this. I need the whole screen for this. I want y'all to look at this baby. This is what he did. I'm going to take up more screen room. Y'all look at this. This is what he did to this baby. A 1-year-old kid who cannot speak for himself, nor could he defend himself against the tyranny of mom's boyfriend. Y'all look at this picture and tell me, what was this baby supposed to do to protect himself against mom's boyfriend, who was 35 years old? What did that baby do? What did this baby do to deserve to get beat up like that? What kind of crying did this baby do? And I'm going to have to put this on silent. Uh-oh, wait a minute. We got family inboxing me. That's why my phone's going off, because normally people know not to inbox me. Hold on a minute. This is actually family. Why would you send me this link? All it is, tell you, this is my family. This is the family members contacting me, because anytime I do these stories, I send them the links. Let me ask you guys a question. AFC. Would y'all like me to let one of the family members on and talk about this and tell me what facts that I'm saying that's incorrect, and tell me what am I saying that's factually inaccurate? I blame the parties that are responsible. A thug is going to do what a thug does. So the point is not to put your children around dangerous environments. So to me, whoever has custody of that baby, that has to be the party that is responsible for this not happening to the kid. That's the party that needs to be responsible. It looks like the biological mother and a family member saw my message. That means that they're listening right now. We got how many people in the building? 324. We really need about a good 1,000 people in here right about now. But I'll settle for that. Y'all click that thumbs up. Help share this stream and let other people know that we're live. And I want y'all to know that they can see your comments. Let me take this picture off the screen. They can see you guys' comments. So if y'all want to say anything to the family member, or if you want to say anything to the biological mother, they can hear you. They are watching the show right now. And I'm happy that they are. Because this type of thing absolutely needs to be talked about in a way that lets people know that you must be held accountable for any and all actions that lead to the destruction or death of a child. This is why we have to take our actions more serious, and you can't just look at this dude and be like, I like him. He's a nice guy. He's a great guy. I like him, so therefore it's okay for me to put my kid around him. No, you cannot do that. Just because you like him does not give you the right to put your child in harm's way. Now, if you don't have children and you want to date thugs and let the thug kick your ass, then fine. Fine. But what you cannot do is you cannot put your innocent 1-year-old child in harm's way. Matter of fact, if your child lives under your roof, I don't think it's right of you to date thugs and bring that death inside your house. I don't care if the kids are 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. If they live under your roof, you shouldn't be fucking with them. That's coming from a responsible parent that understands the difference between have your fun, but don't involve your kids. Well, I'm going to tell you like this. I can see that you're watching the show right now, but I told you, either you can come in and tell me what I said that is wrong. If not, we're about to go a little bit deeper. How many of you guys want me to get a little bit deeper with this story? We're just getting started, by the way. Oh, I've been worked up about this since last night. Are y'all ready for me to go in on this story? Ooh-wee. The biological mom is, let me see. Can I scroll this thing without it messing up? Y'all want to know how old the biological mom is? The biological mom is 23. Natasha McGee, right there, is 23 years old. She's plenty old enough to know that she put her kid in harm's way. Y'all type what y'all need to type. Y'all let them family members know how y'all feel about this story. They are listening. They are watching right now. As you can see, they are writing me currently. They're listening. We got a whole lot more to say, but if you don't want to come in and call in and you want to make an excuse, then fine. Then, in my opinion, you kick back and just listen to what I got to say. This baby was fighting for his life, trying to breathe, the mom said. She knew he was alive, but he was not alert. So here's what happened. That little baby right there suffered from a fractured skull and a blood clot on the brain. That's how hard he got hit. A fractured skull, and he had a blood clot on the brain. Does anybody know what happens to you when you get a blood clot? Anybody have any idea? Anybody ever heard of an aneurysm? Shout out to Donna Aguayo, who donated by way of the super chat. I want to say thank you very much for that. Also, thank you to Janib, Las Vegas. Thank you very much for yours as well, for supporting our platform, for calling out these bad parents. A blood clot will cause you to die. Even a small one can cause an adult to die. A stroke. Thank you. They had to remove a large portion of baby Jayden's skull to allow his brain to have enough room to swell and therefore reduce the amount of pressure on his brain. The doctors told the biological mother, Natasha, who's watching the show right now, who's inboxing me, but could literally come on and speak for yourself, but it's okay. You don't have to. The doctors told the mom that the outlook, and thank you very much, that the outlook for Jayden was dire. They said the damage was done before they even did the surgery. I knew my baby was gone right then and there. Thank you very much for that. More of you guys are pitching in. A few of y'all did. Damn. Thank you very much. Thank you. She knew that her son was dead right then and there, but they kept doing tests and I let them keep trying and prayed that he would get better. Now, members of Natasha's family stayed with her at the hospital praying that her baby would make it through this by Jayden's side for the next 3 days. And they were telling him to just hang in there, big baby. Or baby boy, be strong, and I was telling him that I'm sorry. Brain activity tests showed that the baby, and by the way, that's that dude's rap sheet. That's one of his arrest records right there. One of a few of them. So yes, he's a criminal. He's a thug. I know what I'm talking about. Brain activity tests showed that baby Jayden had not and could not survive his injuries, and an unimaginable decision was made to remove the baby from life support. At that moment, he was pronounced dead early on the morning of March the 10th, 7 days ago. The mom says she cried, who hasn't seen her boyfriend, Chris, since Jayden was taken to the hospital. I thought he was going to die. If the mother takes her son, I'm going to give you guys an analogy. And y'all let me know if this makes sense. If the mother takes her son, that baby boy, if she takes her son to the nigga zoo and places her son ever so gently in the lion's cage for just a little while, and then she comes back to discover that the fucking lion has eaten half of the baby's face off, let me ask you guys a question. Who should we put more of the blame on? Because there has to be somebody who deserves more of the blame. Is it the mom for putting her son in harm's way? Or should we also put more blame on the nigga lion at the nigga zoo for doing what nigga lions do? Just saying. You take your baby to the nigga lions, to the nigga zoo, put your kid down in the nigga lion cage. The nigga lion mauls your baby's face off, and now everybody wants to say, well, yeah, let's put the lion down. Let's put him down. It's all his fault. Well, we know that nigga lions ain't shit. Nigga lions are only known for killing, stealing, and destroying shit. But we're not going to put any blame on the mom at all. None. She deserves no blame for this at all. She only knew this dude for less than 60 days, from 6 to 8 weeks, 2 months. And because this fool with gold teeth that look like his breath probably smells like he eats a horse's ass, you decided that he was a suitable enough person to put your kid in his custody. That was the way that you judged it. He got kids, he must be a good dad. Like, I've never heard of any woman, any logical woman, rationalize anything like that. The boyfriend was arrested at an East Birmingham motel on charges of aggravated child abuse and booked into the Jefferson County Jail at 3:13 p.m. on Thursday. And those charges were upgraded to capital murder. And he is being held with no bond. What happens to people who get put on capital murder and convicted? One of two things: death or life in prison with no possibility of parole. That's what you get for capital murder. That's how serious it is. He's also being held on unrelated previous charges, which also confirms that he was a fucking thug. In September 2017, he was arrested in Birmingham on charges of breaking and entering a vehicle. Wow. How many of y'all are shocked? How many of you people out there are shocked to hear that? He pled guilty to the crime, and on January of 2019, he was sentenced to 2 years of supervised probation. I'm going to read that again. Maybe some of y'all didn't catch what I just said. Let me read it again. He pled guilty to the crime, and he was sentenced to 2 years of supervised probation on January of 2019. So if we're if we're in March of 2020, then when does he get off of probation? Anybody want to take a guess on that? Anybody quick on that math? What that means is that she let somebody who was on probation for a whole nother, at least another year, babysit her 1-year-old kid. She went through all of that so her thug can babysit the kid, but you won't go through all of that to let the man who created that kid, who probably wouldn't have beat this kid up like that, the biological father, you wouldn't let him keep the kid? You could have just gave him custody. I'm pretty sure he would have happily have taken custody of this kid. It'd be 2021. He wouldn't be off of probation until January of 2021. You said, when did this happen? This happened this month. Let me see, about 10 days ago. He was scheduled to appear in court May of 2019 for a probation review, but he did not bother to show up. So a failure to appear warrant was issued for his arrest. And you mean to tell me that the biological mother, Natasha McGee, who could have simply had looked up a background check, in most cases you can get some of them done for free, but she neglected to do that. I wonder why. Is it because she didn't have access to the internet? Is it because she didn't have access to a computer? Smartphones are pretty cheap, are they not? How expensive are, what's the cheapest smartphone that you can get that runs Android nowadays? How much does that cost nowadays? Anybody want to take a guess? Whether you live in the United States or if you live abroad, how much is the cheapest smartphone for you to buy nowadays? Nowadays, you could get a smartphone for cheaper than a t-shirt. You could buy smartphones that are cheaper than the shirt that I have on, which is the AFC shirt. They were actually giving away my point for bringing that up is just to say that there is no reason why she could not have had access or resources to be able to do a background check before you take your son. Like, does your son's life not mean enough to do a background check on a nigga that you fucking and sucking on? If you ask me, most people be like, a normal person would do a background check. A normal person wouldn't meet somebody for 2 fucking months and then put their 1-year-old and say, you watch the kid. A normal person wouldn't say that you got kids and that makes you a suitable parent. Not this nigga. No. No. You don't look at that face. Look at that face. You don't look at that face and tell me that that looks like a responsible parent. You don't do it. No, you don't. You don't. Nobody does. But wait, there's more, guys. Are you ready for more? There's even more. Make sure y'all click that thumbs up while y'all are here. Cynthia said, preach that shit, Jay. The library is free. Thank you. There's a library in every hood in America. You know how I know? Because I've lived in the hood. I've been to all the libraries on the east side, on the north side, on the west side, on the Midwest side of town, in most states, if not all states. Most people do not live far from a library. But wait, on January 7th of this year, not last year, but this year, another warrant was issued for Christopher Predator Face Knight. And guess what it was for? They issued yet another warrant for him, this time for theft of property in connection with an incident that occurred on November of 2019 at a KFC in Center Point. Wow. There's no way that this dude could be in that much trouble and you didn't take a moment to at least check and find out who, like what if he was a child rapist? Like, you're not going to bother to do a background check at all? Like, seriously? We're getting ready to play the news videos here in just a moment. But here's the thing. The Jefferson County District Attorney's Office requested that his probation be revoked. And you can keep inboxing me if you want to, or you can bring your ass on this show and speak up and say what you need to say. You can hear my phone. You can hear I got the message. Either to the family, either you come in the chat, you say what you need to say, or you can call in and say what you need to say. But you keep inboxing me, I'm going to just ignore it. All right? Now, his probation was revoked. Comments on various Facebook posts from people who evidently know who he was include these allegations. Are you ready? Number 1, he worked at Wendy's on the Parkway. That's where he was working at. Number 2, he has a history of living in hotels. In fact, the address where he and Natasha were staying together at the time of Jayden's injuries belongs to a in-town suite extended stay facility. They were living at a fucking hotel. Number 3, he is alleged to have beaten at least one young girlfriend in the past. Number 4, one woman said about him, I chilled with his ass one night and didn't like his vibe and I dipped. Y'all know that's a black woman by how they said it. She said, I didn't like his vibe and I dipped. I'm sorry. It could have been a person of another race, but the chances that it was a black woman is very, very likely. But I will tell you this, even though it was probably a hood black chick, I can at least respect the fact that she realized she saw something and realized that it wasn't right, and she did something by leaving. She said she dipped. She left this thug. She's like, I don't like this. Something wrong with this dude. Common sense. Common sense. Peach Cutie Pie donated. I want to say thank you very much to Peach Cutie Pie. Thank you very much. Always showing support. The mom said it's been a nightmare losing her child, her only child. Waking up today knowing that I can't see him again, I'm just sad. And she lamented this. Y'all got to hear this. Y'all got to hear from the biological mom. Let me get her picture up on the screen. Because we about to bring this bitch to the carpet. This woman that you see on my screen with that hair bonnet on to cover up her God-given hair, she said, I wish I could swap places with him. I wish it was me instead of him. I wish this never happened to him. I wish I never met that man. Carrie Blue said, what's the call-in number? Hold on. I'll get your call-in number. Give me a second. Actually, let me pull it up over here because I got to open it here anyway. Give me a second. As y'all can hear, it's over here raining like crazy. I think we got tornadoes over here, but whatever. Give me a second. Is she in the chat? Carrie Blue? Let me see. You want someone to call in? Yeah. Yes, I do want somebody to call in and explain this BS to me. I sure do. She gonna get me towed. She gonna drag me, y'all. She gonna get me towed. Yep. I am game for it. Are you guys ready for this? Are y'all ready for me to put the number in the chat? And I'm going to tell you guys this. Sorry, I know it's a little loud over here. But I want you guys to know this. If I put this number in the chat, that does not mean to start calling my phone or texting my phone. Because guess what? I will block you and I will not say a thing to you. Okay? My husband's going to call you. That's fine. Anybody can call in. I don't mind who. So this is only to Carrie and her people. Nobody else can call in. I hope everybody understands what I just said. Is this thing on? What the hell? Hold on. Give me a second, Carrie. Hold on. While this thing is loading up, actually, hold on. I could probably give you the number now. I hope this thing is going to work. Let me refresh it one more time. The logo is still spinning. Hold on just a second. You DM'd the link. Oh, okay. You know what? I could just DM it to you. You're right. Hold on. Hold on, Carrie. I got you. That way I don't just have to put the number as a public number. I could just put it in private. I just inbox it to you. Come on. All right. The number is in there, but why is this thing acting like this? Allow. There we go. Okay, now it's starting to work. There we go. All right. Hold on just a second. Let me finish reading this. She says she wished she could swap places with her son. What's stopping her from not... like, you don't have to swap places with your son. Just don't bring your son around this thug. Lastly, Jayden's funeral is planned for Wednesday, March 18th at Living Faith Baptist Cathedral on Old River Road in Bessemer. A memorial fund has been set up by Natasha's uncle, Lamont Blue, which I think that's who's going to be calling me. Yep. And his wife, Carrie. So their information actually was in the news article, which is actually pretty dope. So they put up a GoFundMe to pay for the funeral expenses. And Natasha wants to spread Jayden's story as a cautionary tale. I've used that word, cautionary tale. She trusted Chris, she said, because he had children of his own and watched Jayden before. So the mom gambled on a thug and the mom lost. She gambled on a thug and she lost. Can y'all put that in the chat? Hashtag gambled on a thug. She wants all young women to know that they can't just trust anyone with their babies. Don't leave your child with anybody, she said, because things like this happen. And I'm going to tell you ladies this. If you are currently dating a thug, please get life insurance today. Because there is a high probability that if you are dating a thug or somebody who looks like this, there is a high probability that your thug nigger lion is going to take a moment to hear me out. And for that, I say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So what I'm going to do is I'm actually putting the link to that GoFundMe in our description box. So any eyeballs that happen to come to this video will be able to see that. That'll be the first action item in our chat. So hopefully, you know, if people find it in their heart, they can go in and find the information a lot easier to be able to try to make this process expeditious so you guys can kind of get to the next step. Because I know this is kind of an ongoing thing. This is not the end. It's really kind of the beginning of, you know, the grieving period. So, you know, if nothing else, we can at least put the information out there so people can know where to find it.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for your time.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right, guys. And thank you for the people that are listening. I know we were on here for a little bit of time. I did go ahead and update the description information with the GoFundMe link if you guys want to find that. I thought there was a shorter. Let me see if I can find a shorter way to put it in here because I thought there was like a short code, a share. Yep, it is. Okay. Let me put this one there. And again, it's called Jayden's Funeral Expenses, and it'll have his face there. And the people that we just spoke to, they're going to be the ones that are the campaign organizers. So it should, oh, damn, it's the same link. Okay. So it's in there now. And I thank you guys for being patient and listen. If they wanted to see the, you said you're exhausted now. We've been on here for a little bit, but it's still like 9:45 here in Texas. So let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage, and I'll show the people that are still here. I'll show you guys the news videos if y'all still want to see those, and then we'll go ahead and close out. Because I think most of what why can't I move this thing? Fair use. Can I move this? There we go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and show that, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. And then we'll shout and thank everybody that's out there listening. Thank all of you guys. The National Child Abuse Hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 800 for a child or 800-422-4453. Y'all know that number. Even if you don't remember the number, always Google it. But let's go ahead and get the fair use popping, and we'll show a couple of news videos. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, here we go. So let me let you guys see the news videos.
I wish I could swap places with him. I wish it was me instead of him. I wish this never happened to him. I wish I never met that man. I wish I never met Chris. I wish I never met him if I knew the monster he was. I went to work, and then around like 7:27, he called me talking about my baby barely breathing. And he video chatted me, and I looked at my baby and I told him to call the ambulance because I could tell something was wrong with my child. And he was like, nah, you come home and take him to the emergency room. So when I got there, he opened the door and he went and sat down, kicked his feet up on the bed like it wasn't nothing. And my son was in the car seat breathing like he was barely breathing, like he was trying to catch his breath, like he was like that. And then like I had just grabbed my baby and left out. Drove out, pulled into a little parking spot and called the ambulance. The ambulance came, I took my baby out the car and gave him to the ambulance. They told me that he had a fractured skull and a blood clot, and they had to do surgery immediately. They took half of his skull off so that his brain could swell, have room to swell, so there wouldn't be no pressure on his brain. Come to find out that my son was like brain dead the whole time. So that was like very devastating to me. Like I cried so hard it wasn't even funny. Like I felt like I was finna die. Hey, Grandson. Oh my God, really? Big boy. Jayden was like a special little boy. When you be around him, he'll just laugh, smile, play. Like he was just a goofy baby, and he touched a lot of people's hearts, even mine. And I just want these females to know, these young women to know they got kids and babies. You can't trust everybody, even with people with kids, even men too. You can't trust these women out here. You can't trust nobody. Don't leave your child with anybody. I don't care how long you been talking to them. I don't care what, this and that. Don't. Because things like this happen.
I think we got one more news video.
Hi. I wish I could swap.
That was actually a short video of him. That's the baby.
Hi.
Man, it's hard talking about this. It really is. Because I see this baby and I think to myself, yes, he was a handsome baby. Absolutely. I think about that thug dude and I'm like, what did this baby do to you? Chris E. Knight, aka Predator Face. What did this baby do to you to deserve what he got? That baby could not speak for himself, nor could he defend himself. And to me, for a human being to do what he did indicates a coward. Whatever they do to him in prison, he deserves it 100 times over. And I'm going to tell you guys, that boyfriend has a special spot in hell. I hope they make him suffer every moment of his life in prison. And I hope the judge throws the book at him. I don't even see why we need to waste time with having him in jail for life. I think we need to just launch his ass into space and be done with it. To the biological mom, I think I've said what I needed to say. I meant what I said. And I just hope that if there's somebody else out there who is thinking about being in a situation like this for a man, or if you're currently in a situation like this with a man, I'm asking you guys to please advocate for your children first. AFC, advocate for your children first. What's best for your child? Not what's best for me and my happiness, not what's best for my sexuality, not what's best for my household, not who I feel protected around, not who I think is cool, not who out here getting me money on the block, whatever it is. We have to look our children in the eyes and know that our children deserve better than to put our kids around somebody that we don't know. This is a clear example of a mom who just did not know that this dude wasn't shit. And that's just a sad reality that I'm going to have to accept, and everybody's going to have to accept, is that she just didn't know. Based on what I've heard, she didn't know. So I'm asking us to do our due diligence by our children. Make sure we find out. This might even be a good reason going forward why any woman that has children dealing with any man, even if you were to deal with me, go get your background check. You don't know anything about me. You don't know what's on my record. Look up Just Jay and find out what's on Just Jay's record before you put Just Jay around your kids. I would understand that and I would respect that. But this dude not only had a rap sheet, but he had been arrested multiple times just since 2017, had open warrants, was on probation, and got arrested again in 2019. And that's probably only for the shit that he was caught for. This baby deserved better. And I want to wish to this young soul, Jayden McGee, who just celebrated his first birthday. I would never forget my daughter's first birthday. I could prove it to you guys. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Because I had it posted on my Facebook page. Let me see if I can find it. Because what's funny about this is the picture that I have is actually of my daughter's first birthday party, and I had posted it. Let me see if I can find it, because it's not that far back. I'm sure if y'all are still here, how many people we still have here? 318. If y'all don't mind waiting, let me try to find that picture real quick. Find my baby. Let me see. There it is, right there. Save it to my desktop. I'm going to tell you guys, and a lot of people wonder, why do I care so much? Because I know what it's like to have a 1-year-old baby. As a father being 24 years old. Even though I had a hairline back then, I don't now. I have no hairline. That was my daughter on her first birthday. Now, did y'all just see that video I just played of that little boy Jayden eating the cake on his first birthday? Does that not look familiar? When you really take a moment to look at this in a deep way, then it's very easy. It's very easy to see why I care so much, why I tend to talk so harshly. because I would advocate for that baby the same way that I would advocate for mine. I talked to my daughter's mom the way that I would talk to anybody. I talk to my daughter the way that I would talk to anybody. But that's also why we get along so well. Because you're talking about a track history that I've had with my baby since the moment that she was born. I was there for her when she was born, when her mom was pregnant with her, when she gave birth. I cut the umbilical cord. I've got the pictures. I got the video when she first came out. Yes, I was skinny. You better stop calling me Fat Bolo. That's what happened when you get old, man. You'll get old one day, youngster. You'll get old one day. I had a hairline and I was thinner. Would I trade that youth for now? Yes, I sure would. This picture is why it means so much, because I've lived being a father. I've lived looking into my daughter's eyes. I've lived through her first birthday party and her second and her third, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And daddy's going to be there on the 13th and everyone thereafter. As long as God got breath in my body. And even after, I'm going to be there in spirit. I thought I'd show y'all that. That's why it's significant to me. I know that memory. I know it very well. And I want more people to care about their own children, to care about their own community, to not cow down to stereotypes, but to overcome them. Any stereotypes that seem to be negative, we can be better than that. We can be better fathers. We can be better parents.